So basically, I'm working as a technical consultant with Salesforce right now. I have more than 5 years of experience in my Salesforce journey, and I had been through last three companies. I met Anand and this group when I was working with 360 Degree Cloud. Now I'm with Salesforce, and it's great. Anand remembered me for the event for being a speaker over here. It's a great thanks for Anand. So without wasting much time, let's move towards the towards the introduction to Apex part. Today it is going to be very uh, basic. Basically we will be covering more towards the rock bottom, like of how basic technology terms works with Apex. So for this, today I haven't prepared any slides. Everything is going to be in front of you. Like I will be giving you a live coding kind of thing, live presentation, live draws, using screen shares and all. So that will help you to understand how things works with Salesforce, how coding terminologies like that you might have learned with either Java, C, or any other programming language, maybe Python. C, Python, and C doesn't more relate to Java, this Apex, but yeah, still there are many coding terminologies which you will learn today how they are relating with Salesforce in Apex basically. So let me share my screen. Just a second. Give me just a second. Sequence close. Def one day. Just cleaning up my screen. Done. Yep. Better. Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So till now, you guys must have learned about Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, some admin essentials like how what are different data models in Salesforce, like master detail, uh, lookup, because these are some of the things that we will be talking about or referring to: custom objects, standard objects, then flows. So these are some of the things: sharing settings, rules. So these are some of the things that you must have learned till now. Do let me know, like if anyone doesn't have this knowledge. I will try to either avoid it, or you guys can raise your hand if you want me to avoid any part from these, or you can actually ask questions by raising your hands or by sending in a message. I will take those questions, those things in between every 10 to 15 minutes, so you guys are clear on what is being delivered, and I can also understand. So what do you understand by oops? Anyone would like to answer?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, please.
OOPS basically concept of the coding, that is object orienting programming system, that inheritance like this. These are some basic
Object oriented
programming system.
programming. And what is S?
System.
Okay, yeah, sure. So oops. Basically, object oriented programming, there are multiple concepts for this object oriented programming inside this object oriented programming. Now, why do we have object oriented programming with us? There are structured ways also, C is not an object oriented language, but
Code
Java.
reusability, code redundancy.
Yeah, right. So that we can use the same code, like we don't have to write the same code again and again and increase the line of codes unnecessarily. That's one of the thing.
We are treating everything as objects and solving real world problems with the help of these concepts.
Yes,
So we are
correct,
reducing complexity and all. Yeah.
correct.
Mm.
This.
The data and functions all are in the same place,
Hmm.
so it is easy to modify, create, and update.
Data is all its simplest means.
In objects, we have the data as well as the code which is working on that data.
Okay,
All is encapsulated in the one place, so it is easy to handle it.
okay, okay, got it. So see, with object-oriented programming now, what we do with object-oriented programming, we make sure that all our code, whatever code we are writing, we treat every function as an object, and we treat every instance as a replicate of that object. So, if we are having a static method, suppose public void static add, okay, here it can be anything, and if I have public void add, what is the difference between these two methods inside a class? Anyone if have any idea? Like I want your contribution.
Uh, why there
Yeah.
is no return time?
Okay, anyone?
Yeah,
Sorry,
the
I'm not
difference in
able.
the static keyword. So basically, we can access the first method with the class at the class level. I mean, if
Hmm.
there is a class with having this method void static add, so we
Hmm.
can access that method by typing the name of the class dot add, and
Okay,
for the below method add, so then we need to create one instance of the class and then we are able to access that method, otherwise it will throw an error saying that it is not accessible.
okay, but what is the major difference?
The
This you told.
process of execution is different for both.
Yes, but why would I like to have
We need
execution?
to create an object to
Like
execute it.
in static, like we don't have to create any instance to store the memory for that particular data.
Yes, right. So basically, in static, this method will work on the whole instance level. By what do I mean by an instance? Is like suppose you click on a button and our code is running. Now, when a particular method is static, when a particular variable is initialized with static, what happens? That all the values like that function is available, this access modifier. So right now let's forget this, it is available globally. Okay, it is available globally, throughout the code. But when there is no static method, at that time it is available at the class level, and we have to first initialize the class, create an variable for that class, and from that variable we need to call this method. So what happens, suppose these two methods are in class, let's say helper, no, there is a calculator class. So calculator dot add, this is how we will call a static method. And new calculator dot add, This is how we are going to call this method. And instead of this, we can initialize this into a calculator instance and do it. Now what will happen? This will return the value, or maybe it is storing, it will store, and we don't need to refer to that same variable again and again. But if we are doing it like this, we can have multiple instances of the calculator, and all the calculators can store their own each and every separate values. So this is why object oriented programming is very necessary. It is very necessary for these kind of stuffs. Now before jumping to like such concepts, let's start with some basic ones before we go more detailed into these. So first of all, we have access modifiers. Okay, in Salesforce we have private, protected, and public. Okay, now what does private means? Um, with private, just just a second, guys, just a second, there's someone at my door, just 1 minute. Okay, yeah, very sorry. Sure. So basically, see, we have three: private, protected, public. Okay, wait, there is one more: global. Global is for whenever you're creating APIs or anything which is being accessed by a public guest user or anything. Sure. So private. What private does is that whenever a method, like a method or a variable, okay, method or a variable is initialized with private, it is accessible only in that class, only in that class. When it is protected, whenever it is protected, at that time it is accessible to any inner class also. Now inner class is a concept of oops, like we can have a class inside a class, and it can be a wrapper class. All these things I will show you, like I will show you the concept of wrapper class. What man, wrapper class, like maybe why do we use it, inner class also. All these I will show you. I will share my screen on a VS Code and do it. Just some of the basic things more, and then we will do all these whatever I have told you till now as a code also, so you guys can relate better and ask more questions. Wait, let me see if you guys have any questions till now. Okay, so I don't see anything. Hmm. Now public means that inside the mm, custom namespace, not exactly custom, if it's public also. Suppose there is a managed package that you have installed, there is a concept of managed packages in Salesforce. So even a managed package public class is accessible to you. No, no. A, a global one will be accessible. For a public one, only that particular namespace, custom namespace is where you write all the code. So within that particular namespace, that method, that class, and that variable will be accessible. And when it comes to global, in a global, it is like site guest user, or between different namespaces, it will be visible. So what do I mean by visible? So see, basically in Oops, it's a concept like you can see or not. If you can see, you can call it. So with object oriented programming, treat it like this. So suppose if it is public, if it is public, it is like this. This is an object. This is a method m1 of class c1. Okay, this is public. Everyone can see it. So user 1, user 2, user 3, everyone can see it directly. Okay, this is public right now. But there is a user 3, sorry, user 4, which is external user. He cannot see it. There is a boundary between these two because it is public. Okay, now when it comes to global, this boundary will be over. When it comes to protected, there will again be a boundary for the external user. For these three users, they can use it, and any other class also which is inside C1. So let's suppose there is a C2 class which is inside C1. This can access it. This can also access it. This can also access it. This can also access it. When it comes to private, in private one there will be a bigger barrier between more people. Only the members having access, proper access, will be visible. They cannot see it. So this is how object oriented programming works. Are you getting my point? Like, is there any other way I should explain, or if this is clear with you guys? Anyone, like, you guys can send in a chat if you need more explanation on this or any other way.
Can a method inside a public class be called by another class?
A method
in a
inside
private
a public class, a method
Inside
inside
a
a
private-
public
yeah.
class should. So see, what you cannot have. This is a class. It is public. Now, it can have methods or variables. Methods I am denoting by rectangles and variables I am denoting by squares. V1, V2, V3. Now, this can only have either public or private. This cannot have global. It cannot have global. And same goes for methods also. Public, private, not global. So whenever a class is public, at that time any public method is visible. Now suppose I make this class as private. At that time public method is not possible, global method is also not possible. Only wait, we cannot wait, this concept is not there. Yeah, even with a private class we can have public methods. And now a private class will be an inner class and accessible only to the class which it contains, like which is contained inside another class. So this will be there. But when we make a class as global, at that time what will happen, These global methods will be visible globally. Public methods will be visible inside that public namespace only, like that particular custom namespace. So this decides the visibility of the class, and the this decides the visibility of that method. This doesn't say, it's like, if it is global, it will not say that all the methods will be visible. Only global methods will be visible. uh, is your question answer clear?
If I'm making my class as private, and can I make my method inside that private class as global?
No.
Okay. And
So
also these global classes, we can use it in the integration purposes as well,
yes,
right?
it is mostly used in the integration purposes.
So one more question: if you have like two private class, can one private class call another private class?
No.
Okay.
What about protected one?
So the protected is inside that particular namespace. So protected class can be called inside that particular namespace.
So how can we call invoke a private class then? Like how to invoke a private class and its
Um,
method?
so I told, like, the private class. Just 1 minute.
So can we declare protected method in public class?
Yes. So it's like this. There is a hierarchy, we can say. mm, Global, public, protected, private. Okay. Inside global you can have everything. Inside public you cannot have global. Inside protected you cannot have public. Inside private you cannot have anything above. Now coming to the question, inside how can we invoke a private class? So a private class will be an inner class. So as it is going to be a member of that particular class which you are calling. So it is going to be an inner class, not a global class. So that way you can only access that class inside the class which is containing it. Is my point clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions till now?
So protected function can be called outside the class.
Protected function can be called outside the class.
Yes.
Uh, so see, protected means that that particular method or variable is visible to that particular class. So basically, this is a class. This is a protected variable. This is visible inside the class. Okay, and if there is an inner class,
Okay.
it is visible to this class also, but not outside.
Oh, okay.
So basically, with protected, it means this class is protecting this variable. Anything inside can access it, but not outside. Okay.
Like, sir, we can only access that particular variable inside the class, that protected one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside the class, we cannot access it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But with protected, we can also use that variable can also be accessible with the inner classes.
Okay.
Okay. So this was all about the all about the access modifiers. Now there are some concepts which might not be totally legal to Apex. By legal, I mean like these might not totally work as expected with Java and other languages with Apex, but they do works in Apex, uh, a bit slightly different manner, but they do work. Now coming to the other part, whenever we are declaring a method, we have another part which is, so this public static void main. Okay, this is a method declaration. Now we talked about this. We talked about this also. Maybe we will talk more in coming time. But yeah, right now you have a rough idea. Now, what is this void? This is the return type. What does this return type does? So with this return type, it shows like whatever what this particular method is going to return. So if it is void, it is going to return nothing. It will process and maybe store the value, insert or anything, but it will not return anything. If it is account, so it will return an instance of an account record. Okay. If it is contact, it is going to return an instance of contact. If it is opportunity, it is going to return an instance of opportunity. But if it is an S object, it can return anything of these, maybe account, contact, opportunity, anything. It can also be a collection, list of account, list of contact, list of opportunity, or list of S object. It can also be a map of, let's say, id comma S object. Maybe something primitive. It can be an integer, a string, a boolean. It can be anything which can be written by a method. Simple. Then comes the name of the method. It can be anything again, but it should be relatable. Whenever you are writing an Apex code, you don't think like, okay, I'm writing the Apex code, let's name it function 1, function 2, function 3. Always make sure like you are writing a code that anyone who doesn't even know coding can relate by seeing the code. Okay, this function might be doing something for this in the business process. So whenever you are working on any project, first understand the business process. Why are you writing a particular function? Why are you implementing anything? And then implement it. Sorry, and then work on it. Suppose uh, um, let's suppose you want to get the rating for a manager by having responses on a quality assessment record. At that time, you filled a quality assessment record. Now calculate score of manager from quality assessment. This can be a good name for a method, which is calculate manager score from quality assessment. Now this is long. You guys must be thinking this is a very long name. How many of you are thinking?
Yeah, this This is very
Is it
long.
right to write such long names?
No.
Okay, so what should be the better version of this? Maybe we
Practice.
can remove a bit of these manager score from and from QA record. This can be a good one. But yeah, we should have the method names informative, like what they are doing, not FUNC1, FUNC2. This is not a good practice. Whenever you are learning coding, you will see these things like function 1, function 2, function 3, but this is not a good practice by any means. Now, I we talked about the methods. Now, this I why did I explain this before explaining you the concepts of oops? So when I write the code, it is easily relatable for you guys. That's why I took some time to explain you these things. Now, let's talk about some of the let's talk about the four pillars of oops concept. Four pillars. Okay, what are they? Abstraction,
Encapsulation, inheritance,
encapsulation,
Polymorphism.
okay, polymorphism,
inheritance.
right, inheritance. Do you know there are two types of polymorphism? Any guesses?
Runtime polymorphism,
And
Compile time.
good. But these four makes the pillar of oops concept. Now,